Viktor Frankl told a story about two construction workers. Both were laying bricks. Asked what they were doing, the first said, laying bricks. The second said, building a cathedral. Frankl was not making a point about ambition or scale. He was making a point about the relationship between the person and the task, and how that relationship, more than the task itself, determines whether work is a source of meaning or merely a source of income. Work, in Frankl's taxonomy of meaning, belongs to the category of creative values, the meanings we claim through what we give to the world, through the unique contributions that only we, with our specific combination of history, talent, and perspective, can make. This is a crucial qualifier. Frankl did not believe that all work was inherently meaningful, or that any particular type of work was more meaningful than others. He believed that any work could be meaningful when it was experienced as a genuine expression of the person doing it, as a contribution that would be different and poorer if that specific person were not making it. This sounds potentially romantic until you examine how Frankl arrived at it. In the concentration camps, he had watched men robbed of their work, robbed of the roles that had defined their sense of contribution, and he saw what that loss did to them. Professors who could no longer teach, doctors who could no longer treat, craftsmen who could no longer make things. The psychological damage was often as severe as the physical deprivation. Work, he concluded, was not merely a means to economic survival. It was one of the primary channels through which human beings expressed their uniqueness and engaged with the world. Without it, something essential atrophied. After the war, as he rebuilt his career and developed his therapeutic, modern research on work engagement has arrived at conclusions that Frankl would recognize immediately. Studies consistently show that what most powerfully predicts engagement at work is not compensation, not even autonomy, but a sense that one's work matters, that it contributes to something beyond the task itself, and that the specific person doing it makes a difference that would not be made without them. This is the Franklian framework in empirical dress. The person who feels replaceable is suffering from an existential wound, not merely a motivational one. The burnout epidemic of recent decades is, in Frankl's terms, largely a crisis of meaning rather than simply a crisis of workload. People are exhausted not primarily because they work too much, though overwork is real, but because they work without a clear sense that their specific contribution matters, that they are bringing something irreplaceable to a task that has genuine value. The solution is not always to work less. It is, at least in part, to find or reclaim the connection between the person and the purpose, to rediscover the cathedral inside the brickwork. Frankl's understanding of work invites a question that is more demanding than any job description. Not what does my work require of me, but what does my presence in this work make possible that nothing else could? That question, taken seriously, transforms not just how we work but why. The shift from what does my work require of me to what does my presence in this work make possible is small in description and enormous in experience. People who make this shift reliably report that the work itself does not change, but their relationship to it does, often dramatically. The tedious task becomes interesting when it is understood as the expression of something only the specific person doing it can give. The unremarkable role becomes important when it is seen as the site of a unique contribution. Frankl did not promise that every job could be transformed into a calling, but he insisted that the question of uniqueness, what is mine to give here that no one else could give in quite this way, was always worth asking. And for most people who have asked it honestly, it has led somewhere worth going. Subscribe to the Psychology of Viktor Frankl to explore more of his timeless ideas.